Hey guys, bigratthreeten here again with
Trademark629.
We're here to talk about a Chikara triple shot. Chikara doesn't do many triple shots aside from King of Trios, so I was really curious to see how this weekend would go. And I gotta say, I don't know about you, but to me this is one of the best weekends Chikara's had all year.
Yeah, definitely the first two nights were a lot of fun, great shows. Kind of ran out of steam on the third night, but still,
that
2 nights of really good wrestling.
that really shows the problem when you try to go put on great shows the first two nights. By night three, I mean, it was very clear a lot of these guys were tired. The matches were cut short. There was a little more methodical pace to most of the stuff, but it was still a good show. We're not saying it was a bad show.
Yeah, we'll get into that once we get started with
First,
that show. You want to start things off with
I'll start.
The case of the Bulletproof Waldo.
The case of the Bulletproof Waldo. Here's a nice cover that you can't see on Trademark's pirated indie wrestling channel.
No, but if you're looking at my video, you can see my wall in the background with all my nice posters and framed pictures and everything.
You can't beat the DVD. Alright, so yeah, I thought this was a great show. In fact, I thought this was one of, probably non-King of Trios, probably Chikara's second or third best show this year, I would say.
Yeah, it was a great show. Definitely one of their better shows this year. I had a lot of fun with it. I'd say the best show of the weekend.
Look at this. Like, I'm looking at my ratings here. Aside from the second match, every single, aside from Frightmare and Hieracon, which really was just a squash, and the Ophidian match, every match was 3 stars or better. That's 7 matches that are very good to almost great, which is what we got on the show.
Yeah, pretty much. A lot of really good matches.
Here, we'll rotate. I'll start off with the Throwbacks Mac Classic versus the Batiri. I thought this was a really fun match. This match was very entertaining. I love Mac Classic. One thing I've realized that I love what Chikara's doing. Usually in King of Trios, we see these trios, and then we never see them again the rest of the year. This year, they're trying to integrate the trios into the product more. We've seen the Throwbacks in Mac Classic. They're starting to call that team the Spectral Envoy with Incoherence and UltraMantis. We saw Amazing Red and the Maximos. We saw, there was another one that came back. El Generico and 3.0 are going to team for the Chikara Source Rex. And who else?
Osaka Pro, they're coming back.
Yeah, so it's really nice to see Chikara making these trios that you thought at first were just random amalgamations part of the roster. And I thought this match was very funny, very entertaining, a lot of good wrestling, got the crowd off to a hot start. You?
Yep, pretty much sums it up right there. When they turned it into a baseball game, it was like the funniest shit I've ever seen.
Alright, well, it got even better the next night, but we'll get to that. Your turn.
Yeah. Good opener. Alright, the next match we had was, what was it? Oh yeah, Ophidian versus Isaias Velazquez. This is the first time that I'd ever seen Velazquez wrestle.
Same.
He had a really short but fun match with Ophidian. Some good back and forth action.
This reminded me a lot of Tim Donst's match with Kamikaze Kid. Well, I thought it was, I've never seen this guy before, but he impressed me. And I didn't expect a lot out of this guy, but I don't know. He came in there and he was a lot better than I thought he'd be. Fun match.
Yeah, I went in there with no expectations, but this was pretty good.
Next.
Next match.
Oh, my turn. The Colony versus F.I.S.T. This was a really
was hot.
What?
This shit was hot.
This was a really fun match. I'm a big Colony fan, as you all know. Maybe because, as most of you know, Mike Quackenbush is my second favorite wrestler in wrestling behind Brian Danielson. And the Colony, I don't know what it is. You can really see it with them. You can really, really see it, that they really resemble Mike Quackenbush's style. Because he did train them, obviously, but they show it better more than most people on the roster. And I just really love their matches. And I thought this was a very fun match. I'm a huge Gargano fan, as most of you know. Really enjoyable stuff.
Yeah, really good match. Definitely picked up toward the finish. A really fun tag match. Very good for its spot on the card. A lot of talent here. They had their usual really good match that you'd expect with these guys. 3.5.
I gave it 3 1/4, but I still really liked it.
Next up, Frightmare versus Hieracon. I thought this was decent. It never really got off the ground, though. It was very, very short and very basic, too. It wasn't bad, just kind of there, really.
I was talking like how I like these Hieracon squash matches. He's perfect for the role. But I think against Frightmare, I think he could have had. I mean, I guess it does make Frightmare look bad if all these guys are squashing him and Frightmare's having a competitive match with him. But Eddie Kingston had a competitive match with him, so. But I thought this should have gone a little longer, and I thought Hieracon should have gone a little more offense. I like the guy, and but hey, it was still fine for what it was. It was the worst match of the night, but that's not that. It's not saying much.
Yeah, nothing bad at all.
Next up, we had, in my opinion, the match of the night. I don't know if you agree.
Yeah,
What?
Yeah, my match of the night too. Yeah.
Sara Del Rey versus Icarus. This match was so much fun. This match was almost great. I didn't expect it. Sara Del Rey. For those who do not know, the Chikara's been building the storyline pretty much since like November, September, of Sara Del Rey and Daisy Hayes breaking away from the B.D.K. And they've been very slow, but it's been very good. And Sara Del Rey, Claudio ordered the B.D.K. to vote for him for the 12 large tournament, and somehow Sara Del Rey, because Madison Eagles voted for her and Daisy Hayes voted for her, Sara Del Rey got a spot in the tournament. And that really pissed Claudio off. And little by little, you see Sara Del Rey getting louder reactions at the shows. She's actually being treated like this rising star that could dethrone Claudio. Like, the crowd's really getting into her. And her and Icarus just had such a great match. Well, not great, but it was almost great. It was really, really, really fun stuff. Sara Del Rey I really like. Icarus I think is pretty underrated. And I thought they went out there and they had a very good match.
Yeah, the crowd just hated Icarus so much. Pretty much like all Chikara crowds. And
ate it up.
For an intergender match, this was very impressive.
This was like the best intergender match I've seen in a while.
Yeah, this is probably the best match that I've seen from either competitor, singles match-wise. Just really, really good stuff. This was definitely, it was not like a match of the year candidate, but because of the novelty value of it, I'd say that makes it worth checking out. It was really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
And just
your turn. It's your turn.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Next match was Hallowicked versus Claudio Castagnoli. A good match right here. A little bit disappointing for me. I got a pretty good amount of time, around like 15 minutes, but both guys just didn't really seem to work to their potential. They had a good match with each other. I mean, you're going to get a good match with these guys, but I heard these guys had a match on a previous show that didn't live up to expectations. And
I saw that show with a friend named ECW Hardcore 07, and we were both really looking forward to the match. And that match was the main event, and it got a lot of time, like 19 minutes. And when it ended, I was just like, eh. I mean, I don't know. I just don't think these guys have great chemistry. That's really what I think it comes down to. They had a good match. When you give two guys as talented as these guys that much time, they're gonna have a good match. But it really was, like, in my opinion, I actually thought it was the fourth worst match on the show. But it was still a good match. Whatever. I'd still say 3 1/4. Next up, we got the other really, really, really good match with UltraMantis Black.
Was also hot.
This is UltraMantis Black versus Fire Ant. I really, really, really like Fire Ant, as you all know. I'm a colony mark, and I really like UltraMantis Black. This is the best match I've seen UltraMantis Black have since his Falls Count Anywhere match with RAs. And I thought this was just really, really good. The crowd ate this up. They both used their finishers. Everyone was going crazy for it. I really, really, really like this 3 3/4.
Yeah, definitely. Really exciting match. Just a lot of good near falls. Very fast paced. Very, very fun to sit through. Could have used maybe just a little bit more time, but very, very, very good stuff. Next match, Colt Cabana versus Eddie Kingston. They kind of played up the dynamic of Eddie being serious and like Colt being funny throughout the match, but it was pretty short and kind of weak as a semi-main. I guess it continued to build up Eddie, but the match really didn't do a whole lot for me. It was just a decent match that really didn't belong in the semi-main slot, in my opinion. About 2 1/4.
I also thought it was disappointing, but I liked it a little better than he did. I gave it 3 stars because I thought it was kind of funny, and I really do like Eddie Kingston. But I do agree, as a semi-main, it was kind of disappointing. I mean, Eddie Kingston isn't like the most polished wrestler in the world, but I still really like his matches, and I enjoyed this 3 stars. No, next we got the main event, the Soul Touchers versus the B.D.K. of Tursas, Jakob Hammermeier, and Tim Donst. I believe Aries, because Aries missed this whole weekend. I don't know why, but I think he had an injury or a conflict or something. He played a big part in the next two shows matches. In this match, I believe he was supposed to replace Jakob Hammermeier, and it's supposed to be him, Tim Donst, and Tursas, I think. I'm not confident in that. But this match was still really, really good. For those who do not know, the Soul Touchers beat the B.D.K 3 times last year. And then the B.D.K just beat the shit out of all of them, beat up C-Red, beat up Diamond. And then in January, the Soul Touchers and B.D.K had a match, and the Soul Touchers got really upset during the match and got disqualified. And this was their blow-off. It's in Chicago. The Soul Touchers are based in the Midwest. They haven't been in Chikara ever since that match with the B.D.K. Actually, they were at King of Trios. But this match I thought it was really good. I know he didn't like it that much as I did, but I had a lot of fun with it. And I'm a big fan of blow-off matches if done properly, and this was a great blow-off match. They had C-Red come out. He took part in the match. This was just really, really, really enjoyable stuff. I liked the match a lot. I gave it 3.5.
Yeah, he kind of narrated it as best as possible right there. I thought it was a good match and all. It's just that I think that for the main event, it's not that the match did not belong in the main event's slot. Like,
should have been better.
Going in, but
should have been better.
The actual quality of the match was not main event quality, in my opinion. It was too short. The heat segment was a little too long for a match that was only going to go about 12 minutes. The ending I liked a lot. The match was a little bit overbooked, but it made sense. And it was a good blow-off to the program. You know, they had C-Red come back and everything. So I thought it was a good match. It's just that, you know, in the main event spot, kind of not up to par what it should have been. But for what it was really good. I give it about 3.25. He liked it a little more than I did.
3.5.
Overall, show really great stuff. Give it about an 8 out of 10.
Here, let me show the DVD again because I have the pleasure of doing so. Yeah, great show. Definitely recommended by myself. This was Chikara's debut in Chicago. They've been there before, but I think now they want to make them more a part of the regular market string. Like, they were there once in 2008 and never went back. And what a great, great debut they made. So, yeah, great show. 8 out of 10. Recommended.
Alrighty.
Let me show the cover before you talk about a demon in his pocket. There's Ophidian, Green Ant, and Sara Del Rey. You start it off.
A demon in his pocket. This was another great show. Pretty much quality-wise.
What?
Virtually the same as the Chicago show. Based on, like, overall quality-wise, it was very, very much like the same as the show.
What do you start off with the opener.
And what I thought. Alright,
What's up with your audio?
Oh, yeah. Gregory Iron at the wrist opener. A pretty good little match right here. You know, the crowd, again, healing on Chris big time, so that was good. Really got behind Gregory Iron. Match was pretty short, but it was pretty fun for what it was. Good way to start off the show, 2 3/4. Had a nice story behind it too.
I like these guys' match in February. I like Gregory Iron. He really impressed me in his Young Lions Cup match against Lindsay. He cut a really good promo for the match, and I just thought the match worked well. I gave it 2 3/4 as well. I thought it was kind of fun. The crowd got into it, and yeah, it was a good story at the end. Next, we got the Clash Wrestling Showcase. In this match, I've seen 2 of the guys. I've seen Cameron Sky and I've seen Tommy Tresnick, and I like both guys. But this was Cameron Sky, Bryce Benjamin, Joey Marks versus Gavin Quinn and the Herd of Tommy Tresnick and Dead Vaughn. We both thought this was just going to be a generic indie match, but it was actually a lot more than that. It was actually a lot of fun. They really got the crowd behind them. Now, they do wrestle in the Michigan area, so it's not like the crowd never heard of these guys before. Well, maybe some never did, but still, I thought that they got the crowd behind them with such little name behind them, and yeah, and they were really impressive, and I had a lot of fun with this match, 3 1/4. I thought it was really enjoyable.
Yeah, I think it really says a lot when, you know, you have you have this, like, showcase match for a smaller, like, local promotion, and the guys are actually able to outwork some of the guys from the main promotion that's doing the show.
Yep.
So definitely really impressive outing from everyone in this match. Had a really fun match, good back and forth stuff, good near falls, just a fun match all around.
Hell, this was the 4th best match in the show.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Let's see. Next match was Hieracon versus Vin Gerard. This was pretty much just a squash match. Not much to say about it. It was all right. Went a couple minutes longer than it needed to. Really just did nothing for me.
Yeah, about on the same level as the Hieracon squash the night before. Nothing much to it. Next, we got a match that was awesome.
He always gets the good matches.
I know. You got the squash match. You got the opener. Well, I got the 2 good matches. All right. I got both 12 Large Summit matches in the last show. The Throwbacks versus the B.D.K. This match was so funny. The rating says 3 stars, but like if we're basing this on actual entertainment and laughter, it gets like 4.5. Because basically, all of you know the show Hiding in Plain Sight, where they turned the match into a baseball game. In this match, they turned it into a basketball game, where Dasher challenged Donst challenged Dasher to a game, and Sugar Dunkerton and Jakob Hammermeier acted as hoops, and Bryce randomly had a whistle on him. And like, they were passing the ball, they were shooting. It was just so funny. I don't want to spoil most of it because I always try not to spoil the comedy matches because I need you guys to see it yourselves. It was just really funny. And they had a pretty fun match after that too, so I'd give this 3 stars.
Yeah, good match right here all around. I think I even liked it more than he did. I'd give this 3 1/4. It was just so entertaining. This is the type of match that Chikara just can offer that other promotions can't. It was so funny. The crowd was into it all the way. They were chanting, "This is wrestling," and "Match of the Year." It was so funny. Everything about this was just so enjoyable.
All right, next up we had Mike Quackenbush and Ophidian. This was a really good match. Mike Quackenbush is like this was like a Mac classic. Mike Quackenbush.
Mac classic.
There's like no better technician in America, in my opinion. He just knows how to move around in the ring so fluidly with the British style. It's just amazing. And he mixes in the lucha and the Japan. That's why he's my second favorite wrestler. And he and Ophidian just had a really good match. I like Ophidian as well. I think he's actually one of the more underrated wrestlers on the roster. And I think that he and Quackenbush just went out there and they had a really good match. A lot of near falls, a lot of good technical holds that went throughout the match. A lot of great submissions throughout this match. Really enjoyable. And yeah, 3 3/4. Actually, this might be my match of the night. But yeah, 3 3/4.
Yeah, this was yet another really good 12 Large Summit match. Really can't say enough about Quackenbush. Like he was saying, the guy's just such a great technical wrestler. And this match was a great example of why that is. 3 3/4 match of the night. Let's see. Next match we had was another 12 Large Summit match.
Also, before you continue, let me say this. TNA, this is how you book a Bound for Glory series. Not your shit where everybody fights each other over and over again. All right, keep going.
Or when you have a 5-person ladder match on free TV with no build-up.
All right.
Yeah.
Move on.
Okay. Next match we have is UltraMantis Black versus Eddie Kingston.
The 2 most over guys in Chikara.
Large Summit match. This match was good, I thought. Not great. I think it was a little bit disappointing for these guys, but it was still a pretty good effort. They tried a false finish towards the end, which I didn't really think came off that well, but you had a lot of good near falls in there, some good stiff shots. I really just like watching Eddie Kingston wrestle, and this match was good, if not great.
As you all know, I do. Even though some may take it that I shat on him earlier, I wasn't. I do really like the guy wrestle. It's just the false finish in this match. To me, I took it like it's not something that they do often. So I wasn't really that upset with it. So really, I thought the match was good. I liked it. Probably the worst 12 Large Summit match. Actually, no, Vin Gerard Brody Lee was worse, but that was really short. So yeah, 3 stars. I liked it. Next, we have the Colony versus the B.D.K. of Claudio, Tursas, and Del Rey. So this match was really good. I will say this. I've always complained. In my last Chikara review videos, I actually complained pretty hard that I felt they should give their main events time. They only give their main events like less than 15 minutes, and they shouldn't do that. They have good enough wrestlers where they can have great main events. They just give them time. I think Chikara might have seen my video and took it to an extreme because this match got 26 minutes, which
This was very long.
did not need to go that long. In fact, in my opinion, you could have made this 18 minutes, and it probably could have been even better. But I did really like it. As you all know, I'm a colony mark. But my one thing was Aries. Aries, like I said, his appearance really hurt this weekend. This is where you see it because the main event was built as the King of Trios 2010 versus the King of Trios 2009, but Aries wasn't there. So Del Rey took his place. And I thought that was good, but if they were going to add Del Rey, they should have added a little more Sara Del Rey, Claudio tension. And I think there was, but not a lot. And I thought, take the advantage. It's there. She was really over as well. But I still thought the match was a lot of fun. I gave it 3 3/4. It was just way too long.
Yeah, I really feel like they could have cut the heat segment down. I feel like they kind of added some, unnecessary fluff to the match. But it was still really good. Definitely main event quality match.
Yes.
And the finishing sequence was hot, even though it was a little... I forgot who it was that made Claudio tap with...
Green Ant.
I forgot which ant. What?
Green Ant.
Yeah, Green Ant. He was a little sloppy hooking in the Texas Cloverleaf, but whatever. Still really good. 3 3/4. Overall, 8 out of 10 for me. Really like the show.
I actually gave it, I don't know if I told you this, I actually gave it a 7.75, but that is in no way a negative. I thought the show was really good. It's just, I just had a problem. I just had problems with a good number of the matches, but still, I still thought it was a really, really damn good show. I still think this is one of the better Chikara shows of the year, and yeah, just really, really good stuff. Here, you start off with the weakest show.
Yeah, the evil that lies within.
Part 4.
Part 4. Had a very house show feel to it.
Yeah, definitely.
Wasn't really that great.
Yeah, one of my problems. Wait, hold on. I want to say
this. This was the second best match of the night, in my opinion.
I'll say this. One of my. Wait. Let me talk.
Some twins and Batiri.
One of my
really fun match. Some good comedy. Good stories woven within it. Very entertaining stuff. The right team went over, in my opinion, and just a good match all around.
As I was gonna say before, he very rudely cut me off, even though it was his turn. One of my problems with the show as a whole was that it's not that nothing important was on the line. It's just that there didn't really feel like there was a lot of consequences. Like, they had the Young Lions Club match, yes, but we all pretty much knew the result going into that match. And there weren't really a lot of story-driven stuff on this show. Like, I didn't see a lot of... First of all, Sin Bodhi wasn't there the entire weekend, which to me is a negative, because I really like the guy. I didn't see... There was no 12 large summit matches. Campeones Perez weren't on the line. The Del Rey Claudio dissension wasn't really highlighted. Eddie Kingston, I mean, he had a match with Hieracon, but he wasn't supposed to. He was supposed to fight Brody Lee in a 12 large summit, but Brody Lee got hurt. So this just, it felt like a standard show. And I hate to steal your heat there. I like the opener too, though. I thought it was funny. I like Los Ice Creams. I love the Olsen twins. I don't know why they haven't been in Chikara all year. Someone can explain that. Please write it, why the Olsen twins have not been in Chikara all year until now. And I know they're from the Midwest, so I knew they would be on this show. But why haven't they been there the whole year, man? And the fact that they didn't win this match really shows to me that I don't think they're going to be back much. Because if they were going to be back as Chikara regulars, I thought for sure they should have won this match, gotten 1 or 2 points. But instead, Oberion and Cobalt won. And those two, they're not going to get a title shot, and they're not really going to team often. It's always going to be Oberion and Kadama, unless they do the Freebird rule, which Chikara doesn't really do. So, but I just thought it was a good opener. Next, Dasher and Tursas. I really like Tursas' matches. They're not like anything amazing, but they're fun, they're short, they're not boring big man matches. He really makes the match entertaining. He tells a great story. He knows how to sell very well, which is the key to the match. And it really puts in a nice comeback for the babyface, and I like this match. 2.5.
I thought Dasher Hatfield played his role really well. Mm-hmm. I really liked his interview, backstage promo before the match. I thought that was really good. And the match was short but sweet. Just not much to it, but a lot of fun. 2.5. Mm-hmm. Next match, Shima Zion versus Cheech Hernandez.
Hey, it's Zima Ion.
Oh, right. Sorry, Dixie Carter.
Thank you. Wrestling matters.
Yep. Good match right here. This was a nice little showcase for both guys. It was nice to see Shima Zion on this show. I thought both guys had a nice long back and forth match. It had a couple rough moments, but overall it was a good, if unspectacular, indie match.
Yeah, he basically said the words out of my mouth right there with unspectacular indie match. I like this a little less than he did. I thought it was good. I thought the guys had good spots, but it's just moves for me. I still thought it was good. Both guys, and also both guys aren't a part of the active roster, so to me, maybe my care level wasn't as high, but I still liked it. Next, we got Ophidian versus Sugar Dunkerton. Very rare in Chikara do two Technicos just have a match, but they did in this. Well, Eddie Kingston and Hieracon, but that was a replacement and a non-12 large summit match. But so this was built as two Technicos fighting, and it was very funny at first. They did the dancing spot in the Jay Lethal Curryman match from Ring of Honor. For those of you that's seen that match. And this was just a very entertaining match. Not that long. I like Sugar Dunkerton, and I really like Ophidian. 2.5. 2 3/4, actually.
Yeah, pretty good match right here. I thought this was really entertaining. Really, not much to say that he didn't say, so there you go. Next match was Hieracon versus Eddie Kingston. This match was good, I thought. It was a little long for a match that was so one-sided, but they had some pretty good competitive exchanges. And also, I like that they put Vin Gerard on commentary. They played up the ongoing build-up for a future match between him and Eddie within this match. Mm-hmm. And you had Eddie really brutalizing Hieracon towards the finish just to make a statement. So that was good character and storyline progression, and a good match here. One of the better matches of the show, I would say.
What'd you give it?
3 1/4 stars.
All right. For those who do not know, Vin Gerard and Eddie Kingston, they're both in Block B of the 12 Large Summit, and it's probably going to come down to those two in the end. Whoever, the winner of that match goes to the finals. I really like this match, a lot. I had so much fun with this. I'm a huge Hieracon fan and a big Eddie Kingston fan, and I thought, this was a nice. This was a very extended squash, but it was a really good one. Hieracon got a lot more offense than I thought he would, and the crowd ate it up. The crowd was really into this. It got a lot of time. I really enjoyed this. I enjoyed this more than he did. I gave 3.5, actually. In my opinion, it was the second best match on the show. Next we had... Actually, your turn.
It is?
Yeah, I remember we switched for this next two matches.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Next match was the Spectral Envoy versus Tim Donst and Jakob Hammermeier. This match was pretty disappointing for me. I'm a really big fan of the Spectral Envoy, but this match right here, it didn't really seem to have much of a direction to it. It was just kind of there. It was pretty short, and it kind of ended before it could really get off the ground. It had some pretty good action in it. You had a lot of talent in this match, and Jakob Hammermeier is always entertaining. He had a fat suit on during this match, which was kind of funny. So I thought it was decent, but with these guys, I expected more. I only gave it 2 3/4.
For me, I like Jakob Hammermeier a lot. He's my favorite announcer in wrestling history. But in my opinion, if he's not doing a squash match or he's not doing a comedy match, he really shouldn't be in that role. I know in this match, it was supposed to be Aries and Donst, but again, Aries didn't show up, and this was supposed to be a really serious match. UltraMantis and Hallowicked put it up like a serious match. And then you have Jakob Hammermeier in there doing his antics, and it didn't go that long. The match wasn't commensurate to its build, which was my problem with it. But I still liked it. I enjoyed it. I had fun with it. I gave it 2.5. I still thought it was very entertaining. I just thought it was a little too short, and I expected a little more from it. Next, we got a match that I really liked. Frightmare versus Kodama. I liked this a lot more than he did. I thought this was really entertaining. Love Frightmare. I love Frightmare. And Kodama, I wasn't that big on him when I first saw him, but he's really impressed me over time, and he and Frightmare had a very entertaining little guy match. They both did some spots, including one that was just insane on the ring apron that I yelled at the top of my lungs, but it was so much fun. I had so much fun watching this match. I enjoy watching Frightmare a lot, and so I gave it 3 1/4. I actually like this more than Frightmare's match with Oberion from New York. I know I'm in the minority.
They kind of played off that match a lot. I didn't think it was quite as good as that match. I think that Frightmare versus Oberion was one of the more underrated Chikara matches of the year. This one wasn't as good as that match, in my opinion, but it was still good. For an 8-minute match, it was pretty competitive. Some good spots. That apron spot was really devastating, and I thought it, like the previous match, was pretty decent. This was probably better than the previous match. I gave it about 2 3/4.
And
Main event
of the evening. How does this work? You had Eddie Kingston, Hieracon. We switched on those two. I believe this is my match. Yep. The Colony of Mike Quackenbush versus F.I.S.T and Gerard. I won't talk a lot about it, but I really liked the match a lot, more than he did. I just thought it was really entertaining. Come on, Mike Quackenbush. I spent this whole video putting over Mike Quackenbush in the Colony, and then they're in the main event of the last show. Of course I'm going to like it. And as you all know, I'm a humongous Johnny Gargano fan. And I like Taylor, I like Vin, and I like Icarus. And they just had a very entertaining match, in my opinion. The last 5 minutes of this match was really something special. You don't see that a lot from Chikara. Just a lot of great, innovative spots. So I gave it 3 3/4. Kind of a house show main event, but still really enjoyable.
Yeah, really good match. It was kind of dull through most of it. Not like dull, just kind of like, solid, like not really that exciting. Then like the finishing sequence, it really picked up. The crowd really got into it. So I eventually gave it 3.5. The sequence was good enough for me. Kind of helped boost the show a little bit because it was the match of the night by far. Overall, I give it about a 7 out of 10.
Same.
Pretty solid. Yeah. Definitely not a bad show by any means, but a very skippable show.
Probably I think he thinks it's the weakest Chikara show of the year. I thought the North Carolina show was a little worse, just a little. But they're
not the weakest.
They're both still good shows. I mean, the show is fun. It's just the wrestling. Like I said at the beginning, there's not a lot of consequences to a lot of the matches, and the card's a little dry, in my opinion. But hey, they had a good showing, and I know that AIW had a show later that day in that building, and I know a lot of these guys were supposed to be on that show as well. So I can understand them being a little tired. And they had 2 great shows the first 2 days. But really good stuff. Here's the DVD. I'd give it a 7 out of 10. I'd give the first night an 8. Second night a 7.75. You have any words? Hello? Hello? I think my Skype just dropped. Oh no, he's here.
Pretty much it right there. Sorry if you guys could hear him towards the end. He kind of got broken up a little bit, but you get the gist of what he was saying. Yeah. All right. So yeah, that does it for these Chikara reviews right here. Check out these shows for sure.
Yeah, trust me, this was a pain in the ass watching and filming this video.
It was.
Yes. We might not joint review triple shot weekends anymore, or at least not when I'm not when I'm out of town. All right.
Yeah, out of country.
Out of country. I'm bigratthreeten.
And I'm Trademark629.
And we are out.
Peace.
See you.